And I know I've quoted you this as well.
Mhm, mhm.
Bukowski's on my shoulder.
Yeah.
So there you go. All right, here we go. Playing the intro now.
You got a team, here's a word to the wise. You want to dominate your league? Go to Football Guys.
Football, I'm living in a fantasy. Football, got everybody mad at me. Football, cause every game I had to win. Football, I gotta be a champion. Football, I'm living in a fantasy.
We are living in a fantasy with you. It is week 10 preview part 2 on the Audible, and it's Texans Giants, Bloom. And so that means not a lot of Texans talk, and hurry up so we can talk about the Giants, I guess. Some stinkers in this section, but we do have some really good games coming up a little bit later. Let's talk about the Texans, though.
Yeah, there's not much to talk about with the Texans, like you said.
Damian Pierce.
Damian Pierce, yeah, Damian Pierce, save us, you're our only hope. He's really worked out. Rookie running backs, one of the stories of the year. How did you do in your fantasy league? Did you take rookie running backs in your draft? And Brandon Cooks is going to be back. His wrist is okay.
How's his
My
ego?
notes, right? Yeah, his pocketbook is pretty good, right? I have this note for the Texans. He's still at square one. We're still at square one. We're still, we're just waiting on square one. We may eventually get to square two. We'll see.
We'll see. And we'll see more Brian Dable coming through with, well, Saquon and Daniel Jones making plays. Like, the Giants are pretty exciting. Kenny Galladay's even practicing. So when you
Yeah,
can make
and
Kenny
in a good
Galladay come
mood.
around, right? Yeah, like, hey, I want to be a part of this.
Yeah.
People are excited about what the Giants are doing. And from a fantasy perspective, we kind of know what they're going to do. And against Houston, they should be able to do it.
Yeah, they should. And they're coming out of a bye. So, and you're right, Cease. There's a big lesson here for just management and inclusiveness and success. Winning cures everything, and so on.
Yeah.
That whatever Kenny Galladay, whatever trip he was on for the last year and a half or so, now he's watching the playground. I want to play too. That looks like fun. It looks like fun to be part of that group. So, I think Cease, Brian Dable, is he on our list of rational coaches?
Yes.
I think so. It's in pencil, but I think we can count him as a rational coach. So what does he have up his sleeve coming out of the bye? Something, right? And it's going to be better. Something's going to be better here. What's going to be better? Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones certainly is again, someone covering a Joe Burrow or Lamar Jackson bye. You got to like that. Of course, Saquon Barkley, all the punishment he's taken. And you almost wonder now with Saquon, where does he play? How much money does he get? Real intriguing and exciting stuff here. Daniel Jones, how much money is he going to get? Real exciting stuff. It's almost like they're creating good problems for themselves. Darius Slayton certainly, he might fit into the sleeper of the week, brought to you by Sleeper conversation.
Very good.
And we'll see about Wan'Dale Robinson. We'll see about Kenny Galladay. Maybe they'll be part of future waiver wire discussions. But it's playoffs or bust. So this is what this game stands for, Cease. If we're real serious about the Giants being able to make the playoffs, you win this game, and not necessarily win it comfortably, but you shouldn't sweat it. And you look ahead, it's playoffs or bust. Other than the games they have against Dallas and Philadelphia, there are 3 of those such games left for the Giants. Here's the rest of their opponents: Detroit, Washington, Minnesota, and Indianapolis. This is a team that should win 10 games. And that's fun. That's exciting. And we start in that discussion with Brian Dable, and hopefully he'll be better to us for fantasy.
My opponent is the New Orleans internet every day. Make sure your tabs are fine and all that kind of stuff. Get a little watery, but that's fine. We're here for you. Bloom, I'll say this about Brian Dable, and it is a Broncos show. These are the good problems you want to have, because Draymond Jones was in the locker room yesterday. I've got breaking news, everyone. Draymond Jones changed his clothes. No. Draymond Jones was in the locker room, right? And there was a feeling that during the Broncos bye, which shared the same as the Giants bye, like you would get Draymond Jones a contract because Bradley Chubb got dealt, and that didn't happen. So then when asked, and Draymond is very honest. He doesn't pull any punches. He was asked, well, hey, what do you feel about being here or signing a contract? He's like, well, I'm here. And then he was asked by our dear friend Andrew Mason, well, do you want to be here? And he was like, I'm here. So if you're Brian Dable and you're winning and you've got Kenny Galladay now, like, I can practice too, coach.
Yeah.
I can listen. I can do what you want. Like, it's better than what's brewing in Denver, where it's like you're gonna have to kidnap guys like the Bills kidnapped Mario Williams years ago. Remember that?
Yeah, and see, since you brought that up, I want to do another aside. This is one of those truisms, right? It's if we ever write the book, things I learned being a fantasy football analyst for decades. It's that number one, almost always the in-house extension is better money invested than the free agent dollar.
Yeah,
because you know that player better than any other team, so you know whether they're a good investment or not. And generally, with exception of cap issues, players that make free agency are players that the team they were on said, you know what? No, thanks. We know about what you're going to cost. Go test the market. Good luck. Get back to us if it doesn't go well. We'll see what we can work out. But the other thing, Cease, is like you highlighted, it creates a good feeling in the building when you reward good play, when you commit to guys before you have to. That is how you make everybody happy and how you assure those guys coming up on rookie contracts. If I outplay my contract, it's going to be noticed and rewarded.
Hey, very nice. All right. Saints and Steelers, Bloom. How often did we talk about the black and gold versus the black and
Right, black and yellow.
black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow? Saints side. Alvin Kamara is not going to get popped till next year, so start him, use him up, and then Chris Olave and Taysom Hill. All right, Saints side.
Yeah. There's so many teams like that, Cease, where we're just like, well, it's the same as it ever was.
Yeah.
But it is, this is only a once every 4 years matchup with that 17th game. I don't know how to do that math now, but yeah, black and gold, black and gold. Both of these teams' fan bases are feeling pretty much the same right now. Like, oh, it was great those years we had.
Right.
Now we're not sure what we're,
Remember berries. Remember Ben Roethlisberger?
So yeah, Olave's going to get his, Kamara's going to get his, and we'll see. And the Steelers defense will be coming out of a bye, so they'll certainly at home come up. You would expect this game to not have a lot of offensive success. I had Taysom Hill, I guess. Taysom Hill kind of let us down last week for fantasy. Tight ends rough out there. It seems to me. So, Cease, we talked about this earlier in the year. Taysom Hill and those Taysom Hill power formations for some teams, it might make them scared.
Right.
But the Steelers are like, yeah, bring it on. We like this. Please, let's clash. Let's bang helmets. So yeah, I think this is going to be a good old school kind of football game, but that game generally is not good for fantasy. And the Steelers offense is also not good for fantasy.
Not good for fantasy. So now with more Jaylen Warren, does that even matter? Like, okay, we're going to use Jaylen Warren more. That's not the answer. Okay. It's not the answer. And I'm not sure. This is a different conversation, Bloom, but we're kind of here now with the Steelers, at least. Again, there's some stinkers and then there's some good games in this one. Yeah. But like, will the Steelers be bold enough to move on from Kenny Pickett? Like, I don't think so. So, you're going to have a great draft pick. What are you going to pick? You're going to have some great quarterbacks available. What are you going to pick? Because, well, they're trotting it out again. I don't see or feel good about what they're going to provide from a fantasy perspective.
Yeah, this is reminiscent of Josh Rosen, that kind of situation. Yep. And it's not, look, Kenny Pickett hasn't been as bad as Josh Rosen, and Kenny Pickett could still end up being a Kirk Cousins type of quarterback in the NFL on time. I'm afraid that the Steelers and their old school thinking is we have to give him time. We spent a first round pick on him. Why would we a year in say it didn't work? But you may lose the opportunity to take one of these top three quarterbacks. Although, see, here's the thing, right? And we're getting ahead of ourselves. But don't the quarterbacks always look better in November than they do in March, right? The exact same quarterback, like in November, you're thinking, oh, that's top 5 pick. By March, you're like, I don't even know if I would take him in the first round. So we'll see. But to the game at hand, what you have here without Chase Claypool is a more narrow target tree, which is good because we're probably going to still have a lot of passing. So get in Deontay Johnson, get in George Pickens, Pat Freiermuth. And the big fantasy, is it big though? Jaylen Warren overtaking Najee Harris. And even if he does, this is going to be a split. I don't think we're going to see Najee Harris relegated to, what Benny Snell's role or something like that. Right. And it's the Steelers offense. So how much is there really to divide up? Is it even okay? I mean, really, are they both desperation plays? They're both what the heck flexes. I don't think either one's a sleeper of the week, Cease.
No. And interesting before we get off the Steelers is I believe I wrote on our newswire about Mike Tomlin talking about the loss of Chase Claypool. It's like, that's fine. We got Freiermuth.
Yeah.
So, an uptick there. We'll see.
Middle of the field target. So
Yeah,
it makes sense. And we'll see. But yeah, this is a game. I mean, I just hope all the New Orleans people go up to Pittsburgh. If you need have fun in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's a fun-loving town.
You know who I feel sorry for, Bloom?
Hmm.
The people that are retweeting, and I'm sorry because I think Jeff Hazley's the one that brought it to my attention. So sorry, Jeff, I'm calling you out. I love you, brother. But the people who are retweeting Jeff Saturday's, like, I don't even know if I'm good thing, and being like, I'm excited. Like, really? For Jeff Saturday? Okay, Indianapolis side of things. Yeah, go watch the clip because, I saw it enough on my Twitter timeline when I was on the throne this morning, and I was like, okay, I'm going to watch this video of Jeff Saturday. And then I watched it. I was like, that's dumb. Why is everyone, look at this coach. He's so truthful. He's so honest. And he's like, I don't even know if I'm any good. What? Jim Irsay's probably got, it's like Jerry Jones with the red phone. Like when that phone rings, like, oh, what's Jimmy want besides more bourbon? Like, okay, Jeff Saturday. And Jeff's a nice guy, right? And there is speculation, honestly. Stokely missed the day. And because Stokely has what we call Stokely days here in Denver, Bloom.
Mm-hmm.
Just when you take a day off for no particular reason. It's a Stokely day, right? You're Cajun. I'm out there on the swamp, whatever. So Stokely took a Stokely day like he always does. And people were hitting me up being like, is he going to go coach with
he's the play caller?
Right. Exactly. And then Mike Kliss, God bless Mike Kliss, man. He put together a list of like potential Broncos coaches from the media. I didn't make the cut, Bloom.
What?
I was named as a scouting director.
Okay. Well,
I'll take
it.
We'll
take it.
All right.
You
but that
made it.
That would take firing George Payton and Nathaniel Hackett. So either way. Let's talk about the Colts, I guess. Sam Ehlinger is still their quarterback. What the sorry, Joe, are we even talking about with this team when they're still going to trot out Sam Ehlinger? Okay, you have Nick Foles.
You have Nick Foles. Yeah.
You have Nick Foles right there. Jonathan Taylor may play, whatever. Okay, he's hurt. If Sam Ehlinger's out there, I really just want to make fun of the Colts. And
I mean, I kind of do too. And look, I do want to editorialize a little bit, Cease, because this one got my hackles up. And you and I talked about this off the air, and we probably even let some of our thoughts out on the air. But since we're talking about this game and Jeff Saturday, and look, we're all rooting for Jeff Saturday. We're human beings.
Yes,
we're rooting for everybody.
But don't blank with the integrity of this game. And that's what it seems like Jim Irsay's doing.
Well, here's the problem, Cecil. Here's the problem. Great listeners out there. So many people sacrifice so much just to have a chance one day to maybe be an NFL head coach, right?
Mm-hmm.
Decades of their life, their families, everybody sacrifices so that they can have a chance. And to take Jeff Saturday and give him that spot is an insult to all those people.
Yep.
It's an insult. You're making fun of them.
Yep.
We're not making fun of the Colts. We're making fun of the people that think if I work hard and I pay my dues and I make sure that I endear myself to people and I play well with others and I learn all the latest stuff and I care about everything. I care about my players. I learn how to run interference between management, ownership, and the players to keep everybody, and build up all this stuff on my resume. And some guy who's never had a coaching job at the college or the professional level can just get a head coaching job, even an interim head coaching job. This is valuable.
Yes.
Valuable experience.
Yes.
Valuable.
Why isn't Reggie Wayne the head coach?
Reggie,
you know what I mean?
Exactly. You
Reggie
have your
Wayne's
former
right
player
in there. Everybody loves him. He's been an NFL coach. Like Reggie Wayne should be your interim.
There's your bring back the glory days guy. Yeah. Yep. That's your bling. I mean, so you could have done both things here, and it just you
could have brought Saturday in as like an assistant head coach,
right?
Like
advisor,
hey, Reggie Wayne's the interim, and then here's Jeff Saturday. You could have done that. Like the answer was right there in your building.
Yeah, so that's why it gets my hackles up. My first line on this one, Cease, is this team giving up? We'll find out. Nyheim Hines, there's some talk that Nyheim Hines was lucky to get out, and there are a lot of other players in that locker room that wanted out. We'll see. I mean, we may look back at this season and say Frank Reich it was merciful to fire him, right? It was merciful to let him get a fresh start somewhere else and not be saddled. It's Colts, right? With this organization. Jonathan Taylor should be back, and you got to play him. I can't imagine a scenario. If you really are wondering whether you should play Jonathan Taylor, then your team is doing really well.
You play in an 8-team league.
Or just, I mean, see, that's not, you might have drafted Dameon Pierce and Kenneth Walker and Travis Etienne. You might not have even drafted a running back in the first 3 rounds, and you're still saying, I don't need to start Jonathan Taylor. Well, you didn't draft running back. How does that work? Okay, I'm getting off track here. Let's get back on track. Sam Ehlinger. No, he's not going to get us back on track. There maybe could be enough there for Michael Pittman. A lot of people wondering what to do with Michael Pittman. Like, this is like the DJ Moore thing earlier this year. Like, what am I going to do with this guy? Cortland Sutton right now. And I think that because it's the Raiders, probably play Michael Pittman. If you're on the fence, play him. Maybe he can make him startable. Ehlinger didn't look that bad in his first start. The Raiders offense looked great in the first half last week, Cease. And then what happened?
I don't know. I just like that Underrated's here. Underrated does our music for the Audible.
Hey, while Underrated's here, I want to say, since you've been playing our theme song again, probably like 30% of the time, just the theme music in my head, always living in a fantasy.
Living in a fantasy. Yeah.
Got everybody mad at me.
Right.
It always it'll just pop in. It's kind of just fills the vacuum. And how can you not feel good whenever that's the song in your head?
Yeah. I'm officially in 2 rap songs. Both of them by Underrated. So thank you.
Football guy.
Yeah, exactly. And I got to get back to you because I think it was August we were chatting with him. Yeah. August was a blankety blanker Underrated. We'll tell you more off the air. But anyway, appreciate you for showing up here and appreciate y'all. Oh, we got to talk about the Raiders. What do they figure out? And all right, are they going to lose a 17-point lead? Well, it's the Colts. Probably not. So what they want to do should work, which is Josh Jacobs. This is their formula, and it's Davante Adams. And anyone else you get, whether it's Renfro, is Waller going to play, or Moreau's going to come through, like anything else you get is gravy.
Yeah, not expected. In some ways, the Colts debacle is taking some heat off of Josh McDaniels for this one, right? Because Davante Adams is right to speak out. I don't understand this code, players aren't allowed to speak freely about things, keep it all in house like it's a mafia family or something. Because Josh McDaniels, and it was Tyler Columbus, right, Cease, who started telling stories about Josh McDaniels.
The famous Josh McDaniels, like, do your job and quit making it up, was directed at Tyler. Like, that seriously gives him, like, anxiety when that is played. And that was on Thanksgiving, and there was a F-bomb blast that the NFL Network played coming back from commercial. It wasn't even live. They brought it back and they played it on Thanksgiving for the kids. And there was an F-bomb from Josh McDaniels on the air.
Yeah. So Davante Adams is being blunt and direct, which is pretty rare for, again, ask Elijah Moore, who wasn't even really blunt or direct. He just kind of hinted at things. He said the right thing the first time around. I think Elijah Moore's first salvo was, you might be wondering why I'm not saying this. I'm not saying this because I'm a team player. Well, that's it. Don't even address it. Okay. Don't even acknowledge it. But Davante Adams did more than addressed it. He basically said there has to be some changes. Everything was working in the first half, and I don't know why we stopped doing it. So Davante Adams should be fine. And if there's ever a squeaky wheel that should get the grease, the oil, that's Davante Adams. Yeah. But Josh McDaniels, not a rational coach. Not on our list of rational coaches. But that might be good for Josh Jacobs. This is a good run defense, though. Shaquille Leonard is back. So Jacobs is going to get his touches. He should be in your lineup. It could be inefficient. It's a question of there's all kinds of dysfunction here. This is the dysfunction bowl.
The dysfunction bowl. I got to slow down. Way I
brought to you by, what are those companies now? Roman.
Still waiting for a good game, Bloom. Still waiting. We're waiting. I feel like Judge Smalls. We're waiting because it's Dallas and Green Bay next. And that's a month ago or something to be like, wow, Dallas and Green Bay. And now it's like, Dallas, and then it's Zeke. Again, there's Jerry with the red phone. Is Zeke healthy? You get Zeke in there when he's healthy. and he's healthy, I gotta go. Mercedes is calling. And I'm not talking about the car dealership either. Anyway, you walk by Jerry Jones' bus and it smells like strippers. So there you go. It was Prime 47, dude. I was walking to Prime 47 in Indy and going to have some cold pops. I think my buddy Aaron Nagler was there. Shout out Aaron Nagler, Cheesehead TV. And I just walked by as the doors were opening and there was this waft. I mean, you know, I'm familiar with that waft, Bloom, but like this burst of air came out of his bus as the doors are opening. I was like, oh, hi, Mercedes. Anyway,
because he likes fragrances.
That's fine. Yeah,
it's aromatherapy.
Body spray, right? Okay, Dallas, Jerry Jones, and Jerry just Tony Pollard is the best back on the team. Ezekiel is going to start. So Pollard's a flex or sleeper of the week, whatever I got to say. And then Elliott's a running back 2, I guess. It's interesting the wide receiver interest they had. They were interested in Jerry Jeudy. They are maybe at the top of the list for Odell Beckham Jr. But for this week against Green Bay, it's on the road. It's in Lambeau. Let's see what Dallas can do with their normal players.
Yeah, this is talk about member berries, Cease. It used to be that Dallas Green Bay was one of the matchups of the year, not that long ago. Like you said, even a month ago, that looked like it was going to be good, right?
Right.
Now, well, on the Dallas side, everything's good. Dak, yes, still not a high ceiling quarterback, but we'll take his high floor and how he's been playing. You're playing Pollard over Zeke Elliott if you have both, because Zeke's playing with the knee brace. And we saw last year he'll play, but doesn't mean he's going to be effective. He could still get short touchdowns. Green Bay's defense stiffening up a little bit, so I don't think this is going to be easy going. Obviously, you're playing Lamb, you're playing Dalton Schultz. You see that connection? Dak Prescott to Dalton Schultz. Michael Gallup, this hasn't happened. Is this why we're hearing so much about Odell Beckham? Yeah. So maybe next week on the waiver wire, we're going to be talking about Odell Beckham. See how Michael Gallup plays in this one. And Dallas, what else are you going to say? This is a game on the road at Lambeau, a tough place to win. I'm making air quotes, where if they belong with Philadelphia, if they belong with the best teams in the league, this should be a game that they should be able to take care of.
Take care of business. Gina's back in the chat room. Hi, Gina. It is Green Bay side and Sigmund. As you used my full name earlier, I was like, am I in trouble?
Yeah.
But Sigmund.
Yeah.
This is an Aaron Rodgers prob. This is an absolute unmitigated disaster. I thought last week was his last stand.
Yeah.
Last week was the last time I would tell people, like, okay, you give Aaron Rodgers. When I got Rodgers fantasy questions, I'd say, okay, one more week. If he doesn't do it this week, then you're not starting him. So it is official. Like, he's a QB2. He is a player you don't trust. He's a player you don't start, regardless of the matchup. And when he blows up, then you'll know, okay, now I can supposedly start trusting him because of the thumb, because all the word now. And here's the thing about the NFL, Bloom, don't get me started on my anti-corporations rant because it is long, as you well know. But like now the NFL's new thing is like, it's not a concussion, it's a head injury. Like, whoa, wait a second with Christian Watson. Like, wait, huh? Is he in concussion protocol? No. I'm ahead. It's, just whatever, neck, what's something. I'm like, this dirty game, y'all. And well, Green Bay side, until they figured out with, I got a question from Rob this morning. I think you were tagged on it too, Bloom, where it's like, should I get Chase Edmonds for AJ Dillon? I said, no, you hold out hope that they figure it out. Run the damn ball, Green Bay. I don't know if they'll do it.
Yeah, a lot of this stuff. And depending on who you talk to, you get a little different version of it. However, you might ask yourself, why aren't they running the LaFleur offense? Why aren't they running the Shanahan offense? Why aren't they running snaps under center,
wide zone,
play action passing? Now, when I solicited opinions from various folks this week about this, the name Aaron Rodgers comes up. But it can be he's a victim of circumstance. It's because of his thumb. Right? He can't take snaps from under center. It can be he doesn't like taking snaps from under center because he wants to see the field before the snap. It can be the rookies aren't doing their job in that offense, so they had to modify it.
That's who he's blaming.
Whatever it is, it's not working. And why should we expect it again? And I'm looking at myself when I say this. I'm always any advice I give is always meant for me first and foremost. Expecting trends to reverse, betting on trends to reverse ends up being some of the worst. AJ Dillon, I'm looking at you, AJ Dillon. AJ Dillon looking at me. We're all looking at each other like, why do we still even have AJ Dillon on our roster? I think that's why that question comes up, right? Because AJ Dillon's one of those players you don't even want to look at and have to decide about anymore. And some of it is AJ Dillon's not running with the edge. Imagine if AJ Dillon ran like Dameon Pierce. AJ Dillon has more to work with than Dameon Pierce, right? Physically, but he doesn't run like Dameon Pierce. So what do we have here? Like you said, Aaron Rodgers. I mean, there's some quarterbacks. If I got Aaron Rodgers or Marcus Mariota, probably play Marcus Mariota this week. Aaron Rodgers or Trevor Lawrence. That's tough. I mean, it's not a great time to have Rodgers. And it's credible, Cease. It's actually credible to say, are we going to see Jordan Love this year? I mean, it's in the team's interest to see him.
If the ego of Aaron Rodgers would get the hell out of the way and be like, hey, I need to get right. I'm not right. He's putting out bad film. It's creating more negative energy, which energy is a snowball. So when you create negative energy, that's why you don't give concentration. You don't think about things that are negative because you're giving them power. Well, every week, Aaron Rodgers is giving the negative energy more power. He does enough weed. He should know this.
Yeah. Ayahuasca.
Allegedly.
It's the bad trip. Yeah, it's the bad trip. Right. So this offense, and the other thing is, look, even if all these things are correct, Cease, the rookies, the thumb, this, that, you still need to make your offense resilient. Look, whenever things weren't going on for Philadelphia, they say, well, it's not going to work. No, they said, we can be a power running team. Let's be a power running team. You can try to figure something out.
Chicago
this year. Right. So, and maybe some of it is just, Cease, maybe there's a lesson here about when the quarterback becomes too powerful, for a team. And whenever there's not ownership to counterbalance that because they're owned by the city. So you still probably play Lazard. You still probably play Aaron Jones, assuming he's going to play. He was back at practice, even though he left with that ankle issue. He said he wanted to get back in last week. Maybe Christian Watson's going to play again. Just watch that. Samori Toure, a deep sleeper. He's a potential sleeper of the week because at least he's getting downfield targets. Not sure about tight end. Robert Tonyan was running free last week. Rodgers didn't see him. Josiah DeGuara actually got more targets. So I don't know if there's a tight end you can play here. It's just all Green Bay. It's sad. I mean, see, it's like Green Bay fans where the Steelers and Saints are going to be this week emotionally. Come join us. Let's look back at the past, not at the present.
Misery loves company.
Yes.
I'm your biggest fan. Don't get me started singing Anthrax. Get me started singing about the Cardinals and the Rams, Bloom. That is our next game up, and Cardinals side first. Okay, Nuke, you do it. Ronald Moore, which Bloom, you said in Yahoo leagues he was above the 60% threshold. So we barely even brought him up on the waiver wire, even though he's the waiver wire cover athlete. Okay, yeah, go Ronald Moore, do more because it can work as long as he's healthy. Dude gets banged up a lot, and then we'll continue to watch the ground game. Will they actually run the ball? The Rams side is interesting because of who might not play, and that means bad news for the Rams could mean potentially really, really good news for Arizona, who needs. Speaking of negative energy, and speaking of a quarterback getting too powerful. This fits in perfectly. How much have I said what I know about Kyler Murray? There's problems. Everyone should know this already, Bloom. Okay, so I'm not just no lassie barks or anything, but there's problems because you have a quarterback who thinks he's working hard, and the team is like, "Could you do a little more?" I'm already doing everything I can. I gotta go. I'm gonna play Xbox, and I don't know if it's Xbox, but either way, the main problem with Arizona is you have a quarterback with the power. Now perhaps battling the head coach, but the quarterback has this fantasy. He's living in a fantasy, Bloom, of like, I'm doing everything I can. And that's not the case.
Yeah. And I don't blame him. I'm not going to hate on Kyler Murray. I mean, if I was some sort of amazing world-class athlete, that's probably the kind of world-class athlete I would be. I'd be like coasting on my talent. And what do you mean? I need to take care of my mentals.
You know what? What's dangerous, Bloom, is I think
that?
I would be like Russell Wilson and be the aloha who's like, I'm working hard. I'm working hard. Did I tell you I'm working hard? I'm working hard. I'm totally working hard. I'm on vacation.
You can't see my feet under this desk, but I'm working hard right now.
I'm doing work exercise right now, Bloom. It's exhilarating. Like, yeah, that's you'd be Kyler Murray. So you'd be like super talented and lazy. And then I'd be like Russell Wilson, not as talented, works hard, is annoying, and have to tell you how hard I'm working hard. There was someone in Seattle. Oh, dude, I didn't tell you the story. There's someone in Seattle I talked to that was like, I'm glad you're seeing now what we saw. And I was also told, like, when you study for a test and you're study, I'm totally studying, I'm studying, and then you like fail at that test. Right. That's the description I heard about Russell Wilson. It's like, if you're working, are you really working hard? If you're working all the time? Yeah. Like, shouldn't you be able, and this is a good life lesson for everybody, right?
Work
like,
smarter,
shouldn't you be able
harder.
to get your work in, do really good work, and then, rest? Just not in the stupid offense coordinator hasn't gone home in like 3 weeks.
Yeah, isn't it Bruce
that's
Arians?
Dumb.
That's dumb.
Yeah,
Isn't Bruce Arians the head coach who says, like, come on, you got to have a life too?
Yes, yeah. BA demanded guys went to like their kids' soccer games and stuff.
Yeah, like have a life. And you're right. There's an idea of like overloading yourself or working so much that nothing means anything anymore because you're just always on that grind. So anyway, let's get to this game. And I'm not at all trying to show you up, but I'm just curious what your knee-jerk answer to this would be, Cease. Kyler Murray has played 7 games against the Rams. What do you think his record is against the Rams?
5-2.
1-6.
Oh God.
Yeah, I'm just and look, the last 2 games he's thrown on average in the last 2 games against the Rams 53.5 passes on average. So over 2 games earlier this year and the last game last year, it's just all on Kyler Murray. Like you said, he's going to run the ball. James Conner, what the heck flex? He looked okay, caught some passes last week, might get a rushing touchdown. James Conner, what the heck flex? Maybe even running back too. But I don't see any reason to expect this game to deviate greatly. It's going to be kind of like what Patrick Mahomes did against Tennessee. A ton of passes for short yards. Now, yards for PPR leagues, Hopkins, Moore, Ertz, you're happy with that. For wins, again, this is a team that is going to be a disappointment again. How many times are we going to say stuck in this loop with Arizona, right? There are some pieces. Every now and then it comes together. They're not deployed correctly. They don't seem to have a plan or a process or a blueprint. And it continues to be entertaining or interesting for television and for fantasy football, but they're not going forward. But at the same time, Cease, it was only last year, and Rams fans, they're with the Steelers fans and the Saints fans. Remember how it used to be? Because it ain't that way no more.
Rap and a sing, and I can tell by the Trey McBride stuff. Like every rookie tight end's flashing except for Trey McBride. Yeah. How did I know they don't have a plan? Because like even Jelani Woods has flashed. For the love of God. So it's not just a Zach Ertz is doing everything. Anyway, it's a Cardinal show, I guess. Is it a Cardinal show? Maybe it should be.
Dysfunction show. It's a dysfunction. The more dysfunctional you are, the more we're going to talk. It's like open house. When I was a kid, and I'm not trying to brag, when I was a kid, my mom would go to open house with me, and we get to like the teacher's desk, and the teacher say, "Your kid's fine. I need to talk to all the other parents."
I need to talk to the hooligans. Yeah. That's right. Matthew Stafford going to play? And it doesn't matter. Like Cam Akers is whatever. He sucks. Darren Henderson sucks. Like everyone except Cooper Kupp pretty much sucks. I guess Tyler Higbee's all right, but like no, this team's terrible. And without Matthew Stafford, I don't know how they'll be less terrible.
Yeah, these are my 2 notes. No one except Kupp is Stafford going to play. And then you could add that in parentheses. Doesn't matter. And you're going to play Kupp. And I guess if you want to test the play tight ends against Arizona theory, Tyler Higbee's been doing nothing, and they need him to block. But you can try this. This is an experiment. Let's play Tyler Higbee and see if it just doesn't even matter. If you play a tight end against Arizona, no matter what they were doing going in, they're going to do okay. But yeah, I guess we're still going to play Kupp no matter what, even if it's John Walford. And this is rough. NFC West football, not good football, except you're talking about Seattle starting us off, San Francisco taking us home.
All right. LA Chargers and San Francisco 49ers. Bloom, I'll clean it up a little bit. I'm being a little chatty. I'm in a mood. Yeah, but the Chargers side, it is. It's real. I guess Josh Palmer, DeAndre Carter are going to do something. Okay. Like maybe a little more Gerald Everett. Sure. And of course, Austin Eckler are going to lead the way, and
Mhm.
Justin Herbert's going to do his thing. And Keenan Allen's day to day, but hasn't he been day to day for like a year?
Yeah, aren't we all?
Yeah. So there you go. Not really going to rely on it. And normally, Bloom, and you've heard this before, when a superstar comes back, I'm like, play him. You know, we just talked about Jonathan Taylor, right? And I know Taylor hasn't been out as long. With Allen, I'm on the opposite.
No.
I'm like, Allen comes back, even if he's going to play this week, guys. Like, wait.
Too many false starts.
Wait.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah. So when you look at that, Justin Herbert's not an automatic start this week. Cease, you would think with 4 teams on bye, Justin Herbert's like probably an automatic start. No, Justin Herbert has been a massive disappointment. Now, just like Jared Goff, we're open to once he gets his guys back, he'll be fine for fantasy. But for this week, I would understand again, like if someone saying Marcus Mariota or Justin Herbert, I'm pausing and thinking. San Francisco's coming off a bye. I don't expect we'll see Keenan Allen or Mike Williams. So it's Austin Eckler, Gerald Everett, a viable tight end play, and probably Josh Palmer. Although I think he'll see Travarius Ward here. And I think that, again, this could be a pretty disastrous game for the Chargers on offense. I do want to mention Jamari Salyer, a name that has not been said enough this year, because remember Rashawn Slater went down and the Chargers haven't fallen apart. The Chargers offensive line hasn't fallen apart. A rookie, Salyer, has been doing a pretty good job being thrown into the fire there. Nick Bosa, that's the fire. Now the flames are getting higher.
There you go. The flames of 49ers fandom are raging right now because of Christian McCaffrey, because of, well, everybody, honestly, like the 49ers, even with Jimmy Garoppolo, give you full confidence. Like, hey, Brandon, I got a Brandon Ayuk question yesterday. I was like, in my head, because you're always polite, Bloom. But in my head, I was like, why are you asking me this? Like, it's Ayuk. It's Ayukin on the Ayuk and Debo getting it done, and Christian, of course. So there you go, by the way, for the 49ers.
Yeah, this team should be feeling really good right now. And see, so if there's a team that can stop the Philadelphia Eagles other than Dallas, it is the 49ers. And you wonder if when we get to the playoffs, if the 49ers aren't the favorite, if we're being honest, because they're the team that has all the playoff experience. They're the team that, I mean, there's some players in Philadelphia that have a ring, don't get me wrong. The Cowboys have some playoff experience, but this is a 49ers team that arguably has outplayed what was on their roster in previous years that they've gone to the Super Bowl. And this roster, I think, is a better roster, honestly, than what they've had. So this is pretty exciting because coming out of the bye, and what's the big deal? It's Christian McCaffrey. So remember when Trey Lance, 11-on-11 football, you add that to Kyle Shanahan offense, it's always efficient through the air. They know how to run the ball. Wow, what's going to happen? And then, well, that all fell apart very quickly. Maybe it's Christian McCaffrey that unlocks it. Sure looked like it last time we saw him, throwing a touchdown, catching a touchdown, running for a touchdown. And this is great. So Jimmy Garoppolo, you're saying Jimmy Garoppolo or Justin Herbert, Jimmy Garoppolo or Tom Brady, Jimmy Garoppolo. It's Jimmy Garoppolo or Aaron Rodgers this week. Jimmy Garoppolo. How things work out. And when you look at Ayuk, Deebo Samuel should be back this week. And yes, he'll probably have less rushing opportunity because some of the things Christian McCaffrey can do are things they were asking Deebo Samuel to do. But you're leaving all these guys in. Look at it like the Eagles offense, right? Some weeks it's Dallas Goedert, some weeks it's Devontae Smith, some weeks it's A.J. Brown. The important thing is you don't want to miss out when it's that player's week. So you're leaving in Ayuk, you're leaving in Samuel. Of course, you're leaving in Kittle. And hey, the Chargers can't stop the run. So this is going to be a long night for the Chargers.
It's going to be a long, long night on Sunday Night Football. I think Carrie Underwood's going to be here next week, Bloom.
Oh, in Denver?
Yeah. And shout out Scott Sheriff, her keyboard player who listens to the Audible.
Yes.
So there you go.
Right.
Scott, give me some tickets. Anyway. No, we appreciate it, man, because you never know, right? You never know. The picture I have of you and me and Bender right there. That was drawn by a Futurama artist who listened to the show. So it's I love it. I love it when you get messages.
Let me say one of the highest compliments about doing this show and getting to know our audience and all the people over the years that have become part of our community is you all are some talented people, some very capable. Like I just talk about football. I didn't make up numbers and pretend to tell the future. Y'all are doing great real work out there, and it's an honor. It's a compliment to me that you would want to listen to what we do.
During your day, when you're doing what you're doing, You want to hear me? Okay.
Sure.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Certainly do. Commanders and Eagles. Bloom, I said there would be a good game, and there is. It's the last one.
Yeah.
And it's Monday Night Football. So it's Commanders and it is Eagles. And it's only good for the Commander side because of Taylor Heineke playing YOLO ball. Like, yeah, throw it up there. Whatever. We'll see what he does. And against Philadelphia, they're probably going to have to do that quite a bit. So I'm not as excited as I am about the Eagles, obviously. But with Taylor Heineke, it's like you just never know what you're going to get. That box of chocolates and all.
Yeah. We like Taylor Heineke. I mean, we're happy for him. We're happy. It's the Taylor. There's backup quarterback seats when they come off the bench. I don't think Case Keenum's in this category.
No.
There's backup quarterbacks that come off the bench for like great. Well, that's going to make that a really bad game to watch. And then there are quarterbacks coming off the bench that make it a better game to watch, actually, for entertainment purposes. So we have a tension in this game of, on paper, Philadelphia should just smoke Washington. This shouldn't really even be a contest. Of course, Philadelphia should have smoked Houston last week. That was in Houston. This one's in Philly. But division rivals, and Washington has been playing above their head. Look, Minnesota is a good team, at least record-wise, and they had to go down to the wire to beat Washington last week. They were down 17-7 to them. Philadelphia smoked Minnesota early this year. So I'm not sure how the transitive math works out there, but certainly from a fantasy standpoint, where you want to play the Philadelphia defense, Taylor Heineke, the YOLO ball can end up being a lot of turnovers, especially if you're playing from behind. You want to play Antonio Gibson over Brian Robinson. Hope everything's okay with J.D. McKissick's neck. That's a mouthful.
Yeah.
And you're going to play Terry McLaurin. You're going to play Curtis Samuel. However, don't forget, you've got Darius Slay. You've got James Bradbury. You've got C.D. Deuce, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. This could really just be a smoking crater of an offense where not much happens, because it's one thing to play YOLO ball against Minnesota and have the ref get in the way. It's another thing to play against this Philadelphia team. Remember what worked against Philly last week? Dameon Pierce. They don't really have a Dameon Pierce on Washington.
Right.
Brian Robinson is not. Did Brian Robinson go ahead of Dameon Pierce in the draft? Ooh, Washington. Maybe not the best move.
Maybe not the best move when they trade for Trey Lance next year. Anyway, Eagles side of things.
Wait, what?
Wait. What? Like, I feel very confident Trey Lance will not be the quarterback of the 49ers probably ever.
Yeah, again.
Yep. Eagles side. I'm trying to drop that on everybody. The Eagles side is lots of Jalen Hurts, lots of anybody, honestly.
Right.
Slim Reaper, you got him. Dallas Goedert, he's in. The Miles Sanders, he's in. Like, yes, I'm starting the Eagles with confidence. You get Monday Night Punch and then some. Our man Jason Wood's going to be in the stands getting hammered and watching some good football.
Yeah. There's not much to this. He said it was like, you have 6 months to live. What do you want for lunch? So it's straightforward, right? Jalen Hurts, elite fantasy quarterback. Miles Sanders, a strong running back 2, arguably a borderline running back 1. AJ Brown, high ceiling wide receiver 1. Devontae Smith, high ceiling wide receiver 2. Dallas Goedert, borderline elite fantasy tight end. It's only Travis Kelce that's keeping him from that title, because Travis Kelce occupies that category by himself right now with Mark Andrews banged up. And that's where we stand with this Philadelphia team. And we just look forward to, we'll see if Washington can give them a game, but we're really looking forward to the game against Dallas, and we'll see. This is a conversation Matt Waldman and I had last week. Can this team go 17-0? Is it good for them to go 17-0? It's probably better for them to lose a game somewhere along the way, so they don't have to waste any energy or time on that.
Right.
But we want to see this team tested. And we have seen, Arizona tested them. So they're definitely a team that has been tested or otherwise shown to be flawed in some ways, but they also seem like a team that's getting better and better. So that's kind of scary unless you're an Eagles fan. It's awesome. Sorry about the Phillies.
It's incredible. And sorry about did the Astros cheat this year? I don't know. Bloom.
No,
I don't
that's
pay
the
attention
whole
to
point.
baseball.
The whole point of the Astros winning this year was to say it doesn't matter. 2017 doesn't matter now, because there's like 5 guys that was on that team. The GM's different. The manager's different. Dusty Baker's one of the most likable people. He might be the most likable person in sport. Well, Marshawn Lynch, behind Marshawn Lynch.
Yeah, everyone's behind Marshawn Lynch. Marshawn Lynch is my president. I'd vote for him for sure. There you go. Marshawn Lynch talk to Sleeper of the Week talk. Sleeper Bloom. and I've got to play our lovely intro. So here we go.
It's time for the Sleeper of the Week, powered by Sleeper.
So hot. Anyway, can I retract a Sleeper of the Week?
Sure. Well, let me look at the law on that.
Okay. Let me know what the ruling is, Bloom.
You have to go file something with the clerk of the county or something.
KJ Hamler got hurt.
Yeah.
So, like, when yesterday I was like, KJ Hamler, and they should use Hamler, like, no, that's probably not going to happen. So, unfortunately, Hamler with the hamstring. And what is it with Denver and the hamstrings? That's a question that everyone loves to ask. But sleeper of the week, Bloom, it comes down to, who do you trust? Hubba, money. Who do you trust? And for me, I'm going to trust Josh Palmer. I'm going to trust DeAndre Carter. Both of those Chargers receivers going to have to do something through the air. And so the Chargers receiving group, Sans, Keenan Allen, and Mike Williams, are the guys that I'm going to look for in part 2 of the Week 10 preview as my sleepers of the week. Bloom, who do you got?
DeAndre Carter's a good one. It's a good one if you think that Josh Palmer is going to have trouble shaking free of Charvarius Ward, if that is indeed how the matchups get set up. All right, wow, running back. Well, the sleeper of the week. Who is the sleeper of the week? The way things have ended up, actually, I'm going to say the sleeper of the week is Devin Singletary, because this is going to be an offense where it's going to be conventional. Josh Allen or Case Keenum. I think it's going to be Case Keenum. Give me Devin Singletary. Our sleeper of the week, other what the heck flexes. Khalil Herbert against Detroit. Jeff Wilson. Is Jeff Wilson still a sleeper? May not be after this week, but he's definitely someone you need to get in line for. Antonio Gibson. Jalen Warren. See, if you had Jalen Warren and Najee Harris, who are you playing this week?
Neither a choice.
Well, that's the smart choice.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go Warren. Screw it.
Go Warren.
Right.
I mean, he's got. Look, we've seen what Harris can do. There's a lot of buzz that we might see a little more of what Warren does. Wide receiver Terrace Marshall. Although let's watch the weather for that one. I think that some of the tropical storm is going to maybe disrupt the passing games there. DeAndre Carter is a good one that Cecil mentioned. Darius Slayton talked about him. Donovan Peoples-Jones, every week he's there, and this could be a shootout. And Zay Jones, as Jacksonville is probably going to have to pass a lot in that short, conservative passing game to keep up with Patrick Mahomes and his short, conservative, well, not always conservative passing game.
All right. That is a wrap for the Week 10 preview, everyone. We appreciate each and every one of you for listening out there. He is Sigmund Bloom. You follow him on Twitter at Sigmund Bloom. I am Cecil Lammey at the Audible. And thank you. Go forth, be awesome, and continue on with your day. And appreciate you guys for watching. Help us do the YouTube things, which means like, comment, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that you never miss a vid, because we love talking about football, and we dig the fact that so many of you enjoy it. So until next time, be safe, be kind, know that you are appreciated, stay tuned, and stay frosty.